You're just a big-haired food critic. And everybody's like, oh, shit.
I was like, oh my God, that's the biggest burn ever. 1997, everyone.
Welcome to the Rom-Com Rewind podcast.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
My name is Devin.
And I love rewatching movies over and over again.
And I actually really love romantic comedies. Please don't judge me on that.
So this is a show where we rewatch rom-coms, maybe take a peek behind the curtain, dig beneath the surface, and decide, does it still hold up? Today we have
My Best Friend's Wedding. This movie is directed by P.J. Hogan. He did Confessions of a Shopaholic as well.
Oh, I like that movie.
He actually didn't do too much aside from this. Our story is about Julianne Potter. Jules, as they affectionately call her, which is a tiny bit confusing. She's played by Julia Roberts, also a Jules. Also, their names kind of rhyme a bit.
Yeah.
Potter, Roberts. It's annoying to me. I don't know. Jules has one of those, she's got a stupid wedding pact. Did you ever have one of these?
I actually did.
What?
Yeah.
Ooh.
One of my best friends from high school.
Was it Jeff?
No, I don't know a Jeff.
I hate Jeff. So she has one of those stupid wedding pacts with Michael O'Neill, played by Dermot Mulroney. The wedding pact was like, hey, if we're not married by the time we're 28, why don't you and I get married kind of thing. You know how they go. You know how they go.
Yeah. So mine was if we aren't married by 30 or plans to be married by 30.
So there's still time for you to get on that.
No.
Is it hot in
Like
here?
I said,
Oh my God.
Like I said, planned to
This
be
got
married.
uncomfortable so fast. I don't know why I asked. He calls her days before that birthday to tell her, hey, Jules, psych, I'm actually engaged to this girl, Kimberly Wallace, played by Cameron Diaz. But then he said, like, the wedding is this weekend, and you gotta come. I need to have you there as my female best friend, who I used to date. And the entire movie then is Jules... is Jules deciding, Michael still loves me, I'm breaking up this wedding.
So Julia Roberts, who plays Jules, was actually 28 when this movie came out.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so they were the same age actually when they were filming. And Dermot Mulroney, who plays Michael.
How do you say his name?
Dermot.
Isn't it not just Dermot?
Okay, Dermot
Dermot.
Mulroney.
Say bagel.
Bagel.
Ooh. Ooh.
Okay, so he plays Michael O'Neill. I can say that name, so that's a good thing. He was
much easier than Dermot.
Yes. I pronunciate every syllable. He was 33 when the movie came out, and the movie came out in 1997. And again, Cameron Diaz, she plays Kimberly Wallace, a 20-year-old in the movie, but she was actually 24 when it was filming. So
okay, so
wasn't
she could play down a little bit.
Yeah, it wasn't too far off.
General thoughts on the movie?
I love this movie.
Man, it was actually better than I thought it was going to be.
Agreed.
I worry about movies like this where you've watched them so many times, like 15 to 20 years ago, and then you come back to it and you're really like, how much of this is dated? Is it going to feel old? Because some of those movies in the 90s, you're like, oh, this is a 90s movie. It didn't feel that old.
No, it didn't. I mean, I have to say, when she pulls out of her purse a ginormous cell phone,
that feels old.
That
fair
I was
enough.
like, oh yeah, this was definitely in the 90s. And even some of the clothes that they were wearing, I was like, oh yeah, this is big time the 90s. Those bridesmaids dresses, like those were the 90s. Brides were just mean to their bridesmaids. I don't know why, but
they're so rude.
Yeah.
Can you wear the ugliest thing possible? Yes.
In the ugliest pastel color possible, I think.
Right,
too.
the pastels.
Yeah.
There were a lot of jokes that I realized I did not get at the time, and rewatching it, very, very funny. Like the scene where they're having the brunch. And
Yes.
Kimberly is like, I was so worried about you, Jules, because you were dating so many guys. And George, who is pretending to be her fiance, chimes in like, oh my God, she could barely walk until she met teensy weensy little me. And I had to pause it to be like, hold on, that's a joke saying that she's banged way too many guys, but also that he's got a small penis.
Yes.
So now it's fine. it clearly went over my head back then to the point where I had to like rewatch it 2 or 3 times. Be
Oh,
like,
no
that's the
doubt.
joke that they're making. That's very funny.
Oh yeah, we definitely would not have gotten the joke back
No.
then. Absolutely not.
But
But it is hilarious.
And the joke where the bridesmaid, they're like, yeah, there was like an ice sculpture of David, and she
Oh
got
my
stuck to it.
God.
And before we actually see what happened, I was like, are they implying that she tried to suck the statue's dick? And then they see the visual of her
Absolutely.
connected to the statue.
That was an amazingly funny scene. That was so
Yes.
funny. Like that writing, just to have that as like a little bit of a side scene while all of this other chaos ensued on the side, but to have this side scene of that being the chaotic part that everyone was like focused in on was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
I loved it.
So let's go through this. First and foremost, you cannot avoid the opening scene.
I felt like we were watching a James Bond movie, but like a bad version of a James Bond movie because that song went on for about 5 minutes.
For 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
Okay,
I timed
well,
it,
long
actually.
enough.
It was very, very long. It's accurate. The thinking and praying, ladies and gentlemen, not a great way to get you a guy. But
No.
also, so the song is like, show him that you care just for him. Do the things he likes to do. Wear your hair just for him, because you won't get him. Thinking and a praying. Wishing and a hoping.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
to
good
get to get a
advice
guy. I'm
that-
kidding. I'm kidding. But yep.
It's good advice that you can't get him. Wishing and a thinking, praying and a hoping,
and-
whatever.
Yeah.
But like the guys don't really care if you do your hair just for him.
No?
That's not something I'm truly interested in.
Oh, okay.
Every now and then, but like how about, hey, the guy likes apple pie, bake him a f***ing apple pie. I would much prefer that than, oh, did you get your hair did for me?
Get your herded.
Thank you, I guess.
Okay, ladies, get bacon.
Okay, we have the 4 actresses in that sequence. Did you do any research on these people?
I did not. Tell
'Kay.
me.
So I found this interesting.
Okay.
The bride went on to have a very poor acting career. I think she only had, 3 parts after this movie.
Wow.
One of the backup dancers had 4 acting credits total, including she only did one thing after this movie, a movie called Gunshy, in which she played dancer at Chimo's house. Don't know what that means.
Oh, and that was what she played. That was
That
in
was-
the credits.
that's the end of her
Okay,
career,
I love it.
yeah.
Yep.
She doesn't do a thing after that. The 2 other background women
Yeah.
had amazing careers, Brie Turner and Keelia Sheeran,
'Kay,
still
so-
doing things to this day.
Yes, so I recognized one of them, and I think I pointed that out to you. I said, I know she's in other stuff.
It's just like bit parts, but yeah, they both, I think one of them stopped acting in 2017, but the other one is still doing
Oh,
stuff.
cool. Well, good
Yeah.
for them. That's awesome.
And yeah, 3 minutes and 20 seconds for that song.
Very, very long song. But I have to say, it has been stuck in my head
Oh.
for days since we've watched the movie.
It sets the scene for the movie, doesn't it?
It does. It really does. I have to say, it's really funny.
This movie could have ended in 20 minutes.
Okay, well, I'm glad it didn't. And I'm glad it's a movie. I'm glad it was a very long movie.
There-
Well, not very long, but I'm glad it was a movie.
I'm saying it could end in 20 minutes because so there's the scene where Michael reveals to Jules, "Hey, I met this girl. We're going to get married." She almost falls off the bed, or I think she does successfully fall off the bed.
She does, yes.
But then he says to her, "If you're not there, I wouldn't be able to do it. I can't get married if you're not there to hold my hand." Don't get on the fucking plane. The wedding doesn't happen. You're good. It's all over.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I kind of missed that. I must have missed that.
If she doesn't want them to get married, and
Yeah,
he
she
said,
just
"I
doesn't
can't
have to
get
go.
married without you," don't go.
Yeah, and
Boom.
then no one will hold his hand, and he won't walk down the aisle.
This has been the Rom-Com Rewind podcast. Thank you for joining us. That's all we have. That's a joke.
I was like, okay.
Are you serious?
I was
Not
like,
gonna
we,
give me
I was like,
anything
we
for
have
that?
so much to talk
I
about.
was making a joke like that's the end of the movie.
Oh, okay. I get it.
Are you serious?
Oh,
oh boy. So after that scene happens, that's where the conflict starts, where
Yes.
Jules is like, "I'm going to take down Kimberly. Michael's going to be mine." At what point do you, as Kimmy, start throwing some punches at Jules? Because she gets very brazen in her attempts to break things up. It's almost a little bit too obvious where I'm like, "Kim, you know what's happening here. Come on."
but I think Kimmy admits it, right? Like she says in the elevator, when she stops the elevator, she says like, I'm worried about you and I'm very competitive, but I'm kind of like taking the high road and I'm not going to worry about you, which I thought was,
she was very upfront.
yeah, which I thought was like, okay, he's my man, you know, back off, but in a really nice, polite kind of way without throwing any punches.
Do you identify with Kimberly in this movie?
I mean, I am competitive, but no. I think she did it in a way that wasn't like calling Jules out for like flirting with her man forever, and knows their history and background about being together previously and how he loved her for 9 years before.
Scenario.
Okay.
You have this conversation with a girl. You guys go to a karaoke bar that night. Yeah. She purposely butts you out of the conversation. She's right up next to your fiance. She makes you feel awkward and uncomfortable and like the third wheel. And then when it's very evident you are a horrible karaoke singer, she throws you under the bus and puts you on there to sing karaoke. That's where I would start throwing some punches, to be honest.
Agreed. I mean, so just me being myself and not having a great singing voice, I would not
the way
like that.
The soft-spoken way you said that, I thought you were going to follow it up with, I'd powerbomb that bitch. Give her the people's elbow!
You know what? I mean, if I had a great voice, I'd be like, yeah, hell yeah, give me that mic, and I'm going to just belt it out. But that karaoke scene, that's actually Cameron Diaz's real voice.
Oh, she can't sing.
No. So
oh, is this a quick fact?
It is. It is a quick fact. So the director told her that he wasn't going to put her real voice in the movie.
Oh, no.
And tricked her. And that is actually Cameron Diaz belting out the song, I Just Don't Know What to Do With Myself.
Poor Cameron Diaz.
I know. But it turned out a great scene, right?
It did, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if that was a good scene that really showed that Jules was really trying to push out Kimmy. Mm-hmm. And it showed also the chemistry that they had between, like, Jules and Michael had between each other. Like, it really showed that they were, you know, it really got the audience saying, like, oh my God, they are perfect for each other.
With that said,
yes,
I think you put any actor, you put me in a room with Julia Roberts and there will be chemistry.
Fair enough.
I mean, wow. Okay.
She commands a room.
You know what? I was going to talk about this later, but can we talk about this in terms of the trajectory of Julia Roberts' career? Because I think this is the beginning of Jules's domination world tour.
Yes. Yeah, it was. It was, actually.
Because she was already a star. She did, like, Pretty Woman and shit like that.
Yep.
She
had household name.
Yeah, she was, exactly. Yeah. She was fairly high profile, but she does My Best Friend's Wedding. That comes out in 97. She does Conspiracy Theory this year as well. 98, she has Stepmom. Do you remember that? I watched it so much.
Yes, I remember that movie.
99, Notting Hill, and Runaway Bride in the same year.
Oh, wow.
And then in 2000, it was Erin Brockovich. So for
that was a good movie, too.
So for 4 years, she was just all over theaters. And and you kind of see it in this movie where, like, I know she's the bad guy, but I kind of want her to end up with the guy, and I know it's wrong.
The first time that I watched this movie, I was actually really sad that she didn't get the guy. And I mean, I know that's the point, that she wasn't supposed to, and, you know, that Cameron Diaz, I mean, she was a great person in the movie, like her character, and she was so sweet. And I know that she wasn't supposed to end up with Michael, but I still really wanted her to.
Right.
Watching it another time, like the second time, I was like, oh, yeah, okay. I know that she doesn't end up with him, and that's okay, and it makes more sense the second time you watch it, but the first time I totally wanted them to be together. I was upset about it.
You were upset?
I was.
Cried for days.
I did. No.
So the last general thing I have is, how much is Michael to blame for the circumstances?
Tell me your perspective.
Ooh. This might be an unpopular opinion. I'm going to put it like 60-40 on Michael that this whole movie doesn't happen if he's not a little bit of an asshole. Because he calls her beautiful, tells her he thinks about that marriage pact all the time. Remember the phone call? He's like, oh my God, I think about that all the time.
He never like says that he thinks about that pact all the time,
But
but he
it's
thinks about the
implied.
night. I
He
guess.
thinks about
I
the
guess.
night. I took it as it was implied that he thinks about the pact.
Okay.
Regardless, he walks on her half naked,
Yep. Yep.
and she's in
I
bra
think
and
that
panties.
was a mistake. I
right,
think that was
but,
a mistake.
But he says like, "Oh, you look good like that," and she's like covering herself up, and she's like, "The circumstances have changed." That's my Julia Roberts
I was gonna say,
impression.
is that how she sounds?
He tells her he was jealous of George.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then there's the boat scene, which that's entirely just dragging her along. I think Dermot Mulroney as Michael is more to blame than Julia Roberts.
Do you think it's like a one last ditch effort to like see her and to see if the feelings are real?
Maybe.
And I mean that sucks for Kimmy, but you know, like could it have ended a different way?
Like let me drag her along and see if some sparks start to
yeah,
fly.
yeah. Oh, maybe. Oh,
Hey.
plot twist.
Plot twist. Here we go.
It's not how the movie ends, though.
So that's what I had in general. I mean, we're going to get to this in the honorable mentions, but
Yeah.
there's one character who I think changes the dynamic of the whole movie.
It brings some comedic,
You know who I'm talking about.
welcomed comedic relief. Of course,
George
he steals
is
the
a
show.
damn all-star in
Yeah,
this
I
movie.
love
We're
him.
not going to talk about it too
Yeah,
much because
yeah,
I know
yeah.
it's coming up, but wow. What are we on to now?
Okay, so some quick facts.
Oh, sure. Let's
I've kind
do
of
quick
sprinkled
facts.
some in, but I figured
'Kay.
I'd give you some more. So Julianne, so Jules Potter, was actually originally supposed to be played by Sarah Jessica Parker.
I don't like that.
No, me neither.
I feel like she's less likable than Julia Roberts.
oh,
Which
absolutely.
maybe fits the character, but like we were chatting about before, like I like that I'm kind of rooting for Julia Roberts. If
Yeah.
it was Sarah Jessica Parker, I don't think I would be rooting for Jules.
Yeah, like I was kind of on the sidelines rooting for Jules the entire time.
Yeah, you kind of
But
you
you
feel
still
for her.
really liked Cameron Diaz's character, Kimmy.
You kind of want everybody to
Absolutely.
work it out.
Yeah. But she was
Sarah Jessica Parker, I'd hate it. I'd be like, no, she's horrible. I don't like her.
already signed on for Sex and the City, so she declined the role. But Julia Roberts actually recommended Cameron Diaz and Dermot Mulroney to play the roles of
Hey,
Kimmy
good
and
job.
Michael. Thank you. I've been working on it in my head.
Those are good picks. I mean, I
Yeah.
can't picture who else would be Kimmy, but Cameron Diaz plays it about as well as you could play it, I would think. Like she fits as the little bit too young for him, a little
Yep.
bit kind of spunky. You know what? She draws an interesting line of being self-conscious and maybe has like slightly low self-esteem, but then she has moments where it's
Yeah.
like, no, I'm a driven woman and I know what I want.
Very confident.
Yeah, she
Mhm.
kind of like flutters between the two.
Yeah. So another character though that was supposed to play Cameron Diaz was Drew Barrymore, who I actually really like as well.
I was gonna say I could see Drew Barrymore doing it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. But she went on to play a few other great movies during that time period as well, so she didn't miss out. Ever After.
Right.
So that was a really good movie that came out around then as well.
And Cameron Diaz and Drew Barrymore end up hooking up later with Charlie's Angels. So it all
Yes.
kind of
Yep.
all comes full circle.
It does. So the role of George, played by Rupert Everett, which we will talk about later, was actually supposed to be a lot smaller of a role than it was.
Ugh,
But they liked the chemistry between Everett and Roberts.
loved it.
That they wrote him in for more scenes, and George's name in the movie was actually supposed to be Digger, which is
I don't love that.
Yeah, me neither.
Digger.
Yeah, it would have been. It would have made him. I don't know. I just don't like it.
Yeah, it almost makes me feel uncomfortable. Any guy named Digger, I'm like, that's weird. George, yeah, he stole the show.
Yeah, totally.
How, like, what scene did they shoot? And then they're like, oh my God, this guy's amazing.
I know it must have been something like that. It must have been like, oh my God, this guy and Julia Roberts
'Cause
has the
he
best
had
chemistry
Great
ever.
scenes.
Yeah.
Like the teensy weensy little penis one.
Yeah. The cab ride actually was really funny too. When they were in the cab and Michael was like, I didn't know that you were engaged to him. I always thought you were gay. And and she's like, oh no, he just likes to act gay. And he goes, yes, I do.
That's what I like to do.
Yeah.
And the scene where he enters the church and they're like, oh my God. And he
Oh
like
my
starts
God,
like reflecting
yes.
their energy level. He's like, oh my God. And
Yes.
yeah, it was just
And he's like, great purse, great shoes. I loved it.
like without him, I think the energy of the movie
Yeah.
is completely different. Like
Totally.
without him, it's almost a dramedy. He
Yeah. Yeah.
most of the comedy is because of him.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
great.
comedic relief. It was a great character to
He was
add.
perfect.
I loved it. I don't know many rom-coms that have been nominated for Oscars or Golden Globes.
Okay.
Do you?
Rom-coms, probably not.
No, but this one was. And it won one Oscar.
Was the soundtrack nominated for anything? Because it did have
Yes, so it won the Oscar for Best Original Music.
Oh, here we go.
Or comedic or comedy score. Yeah. Yeah, and they both earned Julia Roberts and Rupert Everett both earned a Golden Globe nomination for their performance.
Oh, good for them. They were both really great.
They were
They
awesome
stole
in
the
it.
show.
Yeah. Oh, one more quick fact. There is a Chinese remake of the movie that was released in
fun.
2016.
Oh, that's fairly new.
I know.
What took them so long?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
What do we got next?
You want to go through the thirst factor rating?
Yeah, sure. I didn't really come up with a rating beforehand. Okay, let's start with Julia Roberts.
I love Julia Roberts, and that smile gets me.
I think there is a magnetism to a female really like claws in a guy's back going after him. A lioness looking for her lion in this movie. And it is very sexy. I mean, she's a horrible person in the movie. She does bad
she's
things.
That bad. I actually really like her
man.
character.
When she
I know that
accidentally
must make me...
sends the email was
the
where
email,
I'm like,
yeah, the email was something else. That was over the top. That was definitely the last straw for sure. But everything else she did really wasn't that bad.
Kissing a man on his wedding day, and you're not the person he's getting married to.
Oh yeah, that's also bad.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Stealing that bread truck, nobody talks about. That's a felony.
That was awesome.
That was awesome, but it's a felony.
Yes.
Yeah, and the whole attacking his job thing, she's pretty bad. Regardless, I'm gonna give her a 8.5 out of 10.
Oh, I'm a 9. She's great.
How can you rate Julia Roberts any lower?
I know. I'm
like,
surprised you have her at an 8.5.
I mean, she's pretty close. Cameron Diaz as Kimberly. Thirst factor rating, a 6.
I was gonna say 6.5.
Yeah, she's cute, but her character isn't supposed to be sexy.
Right, it's
she's
supposed to be nice.
innocent and young and nice and
Yeah,
kind of
and
naive.
sweet.
Yeah,
Sweet.
and like sheltered. She's got a rich family. Dermot Mulroney, thirst factor.
I'd give him a 7. 7.5.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
Like, it's funny with other rom-coms, the male actor really gives you a lot of reasons to love the character and be like, oh, I understand why everybody's fawning over him.
Yeah.
Dermot Mulroney doesn't really give you any of that. You know, he's just kind of there. He's somewhat charming. He's moderately handsome, but there's never a moment where it's like, wow, get a load of this guy, you know, what a hunk.
But do you think the movie was really about Cameron Diaz and Julia Roberts' characters? Like, I really think that they were the main characters.
Certainly.
He was a main character, but it was really about Diaz and Roberts. Like, that's
Right.
what the entire movie was about.
It was really about Julia Roberts.
Yes.
And then
but,
the other two were kind of,
right.
yeah, secondary mains.
Do you want to go through honorable mentions?
I think we know the first honorable mention.
Well, I only have one.
Rupert Everett?
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah.
Gay best friend steals parts of the movie.
He stole the show.
Yeah, he has an amazing charisma.
Yeah.
I actually forgot how much he was in the movie. Like, thinking back, it's obviously Julia Roberts, Dermot Mulroney, Cameron Diaz. Without him, I think it's too dramatic. He brings, like, a level of levity to it. And I think he also plays an important part of telling Julia Roberts what the audience is thinking. You know, when he's like, be straight up with him. Tell him how you feel. I feel like I, as the audience, am saying, yeah, tell him how you feel.
He grounds her.
Yeah, he grounds her. And when when the whole chase scene happens, he has a very profound line where he's like, okay, so if she's running away and he's chasing her and you're chasing him, who's chasing you?
No one.
And she doesn't really respond, but it's like, yeah, we're kind of getting to the point where you guys aren't together, and I feel like George is the only one being straight up with Julia Roberts, being like, yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, telling her how it is, and it's just not going to happen, and she needs to realize that and be the bigger person and move on with her life.
Yeah. Why wasn't Rupert Everett in more shit?
I don't know. Has he been in a lot of other stuff?
He has, but I feel like this was the only, like, off the top of my head, what else has he been in? I couldn't tell you.
I actually couldn't tell you either.
He's one of those actors, when you look at his IMDb, you're like, wow, how successful. He's done so much stuff. I don't know what any of those things are.
No, me neither.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. But he definitely stole the show when he had his rendition of Say a Little Prayer.
Say a little prayer for you.
And how he got the entire restaurant in on the song was absolutely amazing.
That's one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah,
that's
mine
in my favorite scenes.
Yes, mine
I'm
too.
also curious, was that a big song when the movie came out? Like, did people already know that song, or did they know it because of the movie?
So they knew it because of the movie. I think it became very popular after the movie was released.
So what I'm saying is that, like, I'm picturing, like, it was released before the movie came out.
So you're picturing us outside on the patio singing to it at that time?
Yes. I'm picturing before
jamming?
the movie happens.
Jamming
Like,
to it?
okay, so in the setting of my best friend's wedding, in that world, how bizarre is it that you're in a random brunch place and everybody knows the lyrics to this song? Because without that movie, I don't know the lyrics to that song.
Agreed. That it was a really good song though.
Oh man, it was great. The lead up to it was great. I just love the teensy weensy little penis joke.
Yeah, I know
Evidently. But no, yeah, great. That's, I mean, if you think about iconic scenes from this movie, everybody thinks about that scene right away.
Yeah. He literally stole the show.
Let's give Julia Roberts' mouth an honorable mention. I'm not
just her
hating on it.
smile. Just her smile.
Yeah, but it's how wide the smile gets.
I love it. She has a really, really nice smile.
It's like, what is an animal that has a mouth that just like a snake's mouth, but she's obviously not a snake. It's kind of like that.
That's a horrible comparison.
What animals can unhinge their jaws? I'm going to look that up. What are we on to next?
Favorite scene?
Okay.
So mine is, I have two. Cameron Diaz, Julia Roberts, and Dermot Mulroney running across the lawn, all yelling each other's names, while the rest of the family and friends are sitting on the deck and patios, just eating, drinking away. Oh, look at them go! Oh my God, they're kids being kids! Ha ha ha! Their reactions to them running and yelling made me laugh. Because it was just normal to them. It was like, oh, they just assumed it was normal. Oh, look at them go. They're running across the lawn.
There they go.
And that's when the chaos ensued, and it was just absolutely perfect. The way it was filmed, the music.
Can I piggyback on that? The gazebo scene was also really great. I just like when Julia Roberts is like, choose me. I thought that was a really nice line. My main honorable mention, though, is where you meet Dermot Mulroney as Michael. I think that entire sequence at the airport is brilliant because we're following Julia Roberts, and the first thing you see is people like a family run together, and they have this moment, and she notices it, and then she's awkwardly looking for that moment to happen with her, like who's here to meet me. And for half a second watching it, I actually thought, I was like, oh my God, does he come to the airport, or does he get somebody to pick her up? And then subtly through the crowd, I'm sure Dermot Mulroney isn't taller than anybody there, but he looked a little bit taller than everybody. You know when they do that? The crowd lightly parts. He sees her. Big smile. Julia Roberts. Crocodile teeth come out. Massive smile.
Crocodile teeth.
And they go and they embrace with her 15 extra teeth smiling at him.
Oh my God, this poor woman.
And then there's the contrast with Cameron Diaz, because everybody at the airport is in bland clothes, because it's an airport. Nobody's happy at an airport. Cameron Diaz...
Everyone's wearing comfy clothes at the airport.
Yeah. Cameron Diaz, bright yellow mini skirt it looked like. I can't really remember.
I think it was a shift dress.
Oh, yes. I couldn't remember the exact model of dress it was.
You're welcome.
And she's got that like kind of insecure... a little bit hesitant. Julia clearly eyes her up. The sweet nature. But you see Julia Roberts kind of do like the once over of like,
this is my competition.
This is the bitch I'm but
welcome.
Right now. Yeah. And I thought that scene gave us a nice trajectory into the rest of the movie. It kind of set up, okay, here's how it's all going to go
She
down.
was going to sabotage them getting married.
Bingo.
Yeah, that's a good point. It definitely set up the future scenes of how everything was going to go.
And how everybody's placed. Like,
Yeah.
you look at Cameron Diaz and you know everything that she's about
Yeah,
right away when
absolutely.
you see her. Yeah. And I also had the bathroom fight scene as
The bathroom fight scene. What bathroom fight scene?
at the end. When Kimberly she's run away.
Oh, the bathroom fight scene. Yeah.
When she pushes her up against the
Yep.
bathroom stall. And everybody's like, "Oh, it's a cat fight!" And
Yeah.
and Kimberly says, "You're just a big-haired food critic." And everybody's like, "Oh shit!"
I was like, oh my God, that's the biggest burn ever. 1997, everyone.
Yeah,
Everyone.
Yeah, we all felt that. I like that scene as well.
Yeah. Going back to the breakfast scene, it was a fan fave of mine.
Oh, the brunch scene.
I just
yeah.
love it. It was just so good. Breaking
Say
out
a
in a
little
random
prayer for
song
you.
and have the entire restaurant know the song, sing along. Yeah, it was good.
It was
The song in
perfect.
general is good. It's been stuck in my head too for the last 4 days.
We when my parents were moving, 2.5 years ago, I found the VHS copy of this movie
Wow.
that we had. Yeah.
Did you keep it?
No.
Oh. Well, we
It's
don't have a
on
VHS
Netflix.
player
Yeah, we don't
anyway.
even have a VHS. Like, what are we gonna do with this? Are we on to the what should have beens now?
Yes, we are.
I've got a few good what should have beens. Well, I've got
Okay.
one good that should have been, and then one I just mailed it in.
Okay, so shoot.
Jules, Julia Roberts' character,
Yes.
should end up with drumroll. I'm thinking Gordon Ramsay. I know he's not a he's not really an actor.
Absolutely not.
Whoa!
I can't. Why?
What? She's a driven New York City. She's a food
She's
critic.
nice.
She's a food critic. He's a celebrity
oh my
chef.
God, no.
Okay, they're both morally ambiguous. She'll do what it takes to
Oh
get
my
ahead.
God.
I think Gordon Ramsay does the same thing.
No, I'm so disagreeing with you.
You know, it's like the right thing, and then there's the right thing for me, and they both know I'm probably going to do what's right for me instead of what's actually right.
Okay, well, I'm really happy that you think that Gordon Ramsay would be really great.
I think they would
for
challenge each other. I also
Julianne
think
Potter, absolutely not. I don't think so. I'm not
her
agreeing
editor
with you.
George is British, so she's used to that British wit, which Gordon Ramsay has. I think they'd be perfect together.
I'm really happy that you think that. I don't think so.
What?
I don't.
That's perfect.
I'm sorry.
Next this is a mail-in. Because I'm like, who else doesn't end up with anybody? It's George.
That's true.
Who would George work out with? I feel like we all know this, but it became evident in trying to figure out who George ends up with. The LGBTQ plus community is not well represented in movies, because I could barely find anybody who was gay and single who could possibly be George's love mate. I decided on Albus Dumbledore.
Oh my God.
Young Albus Dumbledore.
Oh, as
Played by Jude Law.
Jude Law.
Yeah,
okay,
exa-
yeah, I like that.
see, you're coming around
Okay,
here.
I like that. I like that.
Both British.
Yeah.
Albus Dumbledore has an affinity, not an affinity, but he has empathy towards muggles or non-magical humans.
Right. And he's good looking.
And he's good looking. I
Yeah.
feel like Jude Law and Rupert Everett both have a similar type of energy.
Well, they dress very well.
They dress very well. They're kind of the charismatic.
Suave.
They've got some suave. They're funny. But, like, I think they both could work well together. Basically, I'm trying to pair Rupert Everett with Jude Law, and I'm like, what gay people has Jude Law played? Oh, Albus Dumbledore. There it is. That's the what should have been.
Okay, 1 for 2. I'll take it.
1 for 2?
Yeah.
Oh, so you'll accept the Albus Dumbledore, but you won't accept Gordon Ramsay and Julia Roberts?
Absolutely not.
What is this?
I think that's way out in left field.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, who do you have
agree
for
to
Julia
disagree.
Roberts?
I know, and you know what? I don't have
Wow.
anyone. So
So what do we have now?
say 2.
We got nothing. Okay, so does it still hold up? What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. 100%. I love this movie. This movie is so good. It has so many great characters, great actors and actresses, and scenes. It's filmed amazingly. The music is awesome. It's hilarious. It's been, like I said, stuck
Yeah.
in my head for days.
Best soundtrack.
It's cool to see the 90s fashion and those big cell phones. I gotta say, like my iPhone now compared to pulling that big black phone out
How
of
do they even keep it in their pockets?
right? The charge must be for like a week. They probably don't have to charge it for like a week.
Oh, that's true. Those
the battery's
phones,
so
yeah.
big. Yeah, no, I really liked the movie. It was great.
I just realized I have a quick fact that you
Ooh.
that you obviously don't have.
Oh, what's the quick
Wow.
fact?
The quick fact is that I'm going to mess up his last name. It's a very easy name too. John Corbett or Corbet, I don't know.
Corbett, I think.
From My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Yes.
We also just saw him in something else.
He was also in Sex and the City.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. To all the boys I've loved before, P.S. I Still Love You. He was the
Yes,
dad. He was
is
Dr.
the
Dan,
dad.
right?
Yeah.
They had originally shot a scene, that scene at the end where George, oh my God, which is another one of my favorite scenes, where he's like, I can just picture you there in your lavender dress, drumming your nails, and she realizes there's no possible way he could know all these details about her. He has to be around her. By the way, as a guy, you definitely try that move at least once in your life.
Oh, absolutely. That was a really cool. That was a cool scene.
I've done it at Chapters once before where I
Have
saw a
you?
girl and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to give her a call. And I'm just going to describe what she's wearing. It actually worked out very, very
oh,
well.
I was gonna say that's really creepy if you didn't know her. Did you know her?
No, we were interested, I guess is the best way to put that. like we were in the midst of boning.
Okay.
Not boning yet, but we were working our way there. One of us was working their way there.
Did it end after
I
this
can't
weird,
really
weird encounter? Just kidding.
Very uncomfortable. Wow, he's so creepy, guys. Anyways, back to the point. So that scene with George and dancing with her was actually supposed to be a scene with John Corbett from My Big Fat Greek Wedding. He was supposed to dance with Julia Roberts at the end as like, ooh, a possible new love interest. And I guess they were testing the movie and realized fans didn't want to see Julia Roberts end up with another guy because they kind of didn't really like her that much.
I know, that sucks.
Which is
I
why,
kinda
who
wish-
did they show this movie to?
That's the other thing. I want to know who they showed the movie to. Because I would have said, yeah, she should get a love interest at the end.
Sure, but at the same time, then we're disarmed from this moment with Rupert Everett
True.
doing that scene.
And he wouldn't have been back in the movie. I
He
liked
would've been
the
back in the
ending.
movie.
The ending was good.
Right. As much as I think the John Corbett thing could have been pretty great, I'd rather see George and her kind of hang out for a night.
Yeah.
So there we are. I would also agree with everything you said before that moment in that it's a movie that holds up so well. I'd put it on like top 10 best rom-coms of all time list.
Yeah, it's classic.
It's classic. The story never changes either. Like some stories feel a little bit dated or they get a little bit dated. This one's just, hey, a girl who's been friends with a guy for a really long time, probably always loved him the whole time, and he probably loved her the whole time.
Yeah, and only realized it when they couldn't have each other.
Bingo.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden he's getting married. That's kind of a timeless story.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I really, really enjoyed it. It was a good watch.
Me
and
too.
I would totally be down to rewatch it again.
Yeah, me too. Good.
And this has been the Rom-Com Rewind podcast of My Best Friend's Wedding.
Thanks for listening.